remembering those that survived the sinking of the RMS Titanic on April 15, 1912. The information provided was obtained and used from findagrave.com. This video contains passengers and employees with the last name starting with E and F. The remaining survivors will follow shortly. Olive Potter Earnshaw Crolius, born 1888, in Pennsylvania. She was married to Mr. Earnshaw, but divorced in 1913. Olive survived the sinking by being rescued in Lifeboat 7. In 1920, she married Mr. Crolius, and they had 2 sons. Olive passed away in 1958, at the age of 69, due to cancer. She was buried in Pennsylvania. The next survivor is John Bertie Ellis, born 1883, in England. He was an assistant vegetable cook on the Titanic. John survived the sinking in Lifeboat 2. He passed away in 1932, at the age of 45, per his headstone. His Find a Grave says he was 48 years of age when he passed away. John was buried in Australia. The next survivor is Virginia Ethel Martin Rosengart, born 1905, in New York. She boarded the Titanic along with her nurse, and were third-class passengers. Virginia was 6 years of age at the time of the disaster. She was traveling to meet her grandparents in New York. Virginia and her nurse were rescued in Lifeboat 13 by the Carpathia. She passed away in 1936 at the age of 30. Virginia was buried in France. The next survivor is Caroline Louise Endres, born 1872, in Massachusetts. She was the maid to Mrs. Astor and was traveling as their nurse. Caroline was rescued in Lifeboat 4. She passed away in 1964 at the age of 91. Caroline is buried in Pennsylvania in an unmarked grave. The next survivor is Henry Samuel Etches, born 1868, in England. He was married on New Year's Day, 1896. The couple remained childless. Henry worked on B deck of the Titanic as a bedroom steward, first class. He attended the room of Titanic designer, Thomas Andrews. Henry was given a message to take to Mrs. Guggenheim, telling her that her husband died like a gentleman. He was rescued in Lifeboat 5. Henry testified at the U.S. Senate inquiry. He continued to serve at sea until 1931. Henry and his wife retired at their home in England. He passed away in 1944 at the age of 75 due to chronic myocarditis. Henry was cremated, and his ashes were scattered at sea. The next survivor is Elizabeth Mussey Eustace, born 1858, in Massachusetts. She was a first-class passenger and was traveling with her sister. They both survived the sinking in Lifeboat 4. Pictured here is the family summer cottage, located in Maine. Elizabeth passed away in 1936 at the age of 78 due to coronary thrombosis. She was buried in Massachusetts. The next survivor is Alfred Frank Evans, born 1887, in England. He was a lookout on the Titanic. His monthly income was £5 or $24.30. He was rescued in Lifeboat 15. Alfred passed away in 1964 at the age of 76. He was cremated, and his ashes were scattered at the South Stoneham Garden of Remembrance, in England. The next survivor is Frank Oliver Evans, born 1884, in England. He was an able seaman on the Titanic, and his monthly income was £5 or $24.30. Frank was rescued in Lifeboat 10. He passed away in 1952, at the age of 68. Frank was buried in England, in an unmarked grave. The next survivor is William Stephen Faulkner, born 1875, in England. He was married to Sybil Beams. William was a bedroom steward, first class. His monthly income was £3 or $14.60. William was rescued in lifeboat 11. He passed away in 1949 at the age of 74 due to cancer. William was buried in England. The next survivor is Luigi Finoli, born 1870, in Italy. He was a third-class passenger and was traveling to Pennsylvania. Luigi was rescued in lifeboat 15 by the Carpathia. He passed away in 1938 at the age of 68. His burial details are unknown. The next survivor is Cecil William Fitzpatrick, born 1890, in Ireland. He was a mess steward for the engineering crew. Cecil jumped off the Titanic when the bridge went underwater. He was able to climb aboard collapsible B. In 1914, he was married. Cecil fought in World War I in the Royal Garrison Artillery as a gunner. He never talked about the Titanic disaster. Cecil passed away in 1964 at the age of 74. He was buried in Ireland. The next survivor is Edward Flaherty, born 1860, in England. He was a fireman on the Titanic. Edward survived the sinking, but the lifeboat number is unknown. He continued to work on ships after the sinking. Edward passed away in 1940 at the age of 79. He was buried in England in an unmarked grave. The next survivor is Frederick Fleet, born 1887, in England. He was a lookout on the Titanic and was in the crow's nest when he saw the iceberg. Frederick sounded the initial alarm of iceberg right ahead. He survived the sinking after being assigned Lifeboat 6, which contained socialite Molly Brown. Frederick continued in the maritime industry over the next 24 years, working for various shipping companies. Deeply depressed, following the death of his wife, he hung himself at his brother-in-law's home. Frederick passed away in 1965 at the age of 77. He was buried in England. The next survivor is Antoinette Berta Maria Wendt-Flegenheim, born 1863, in Germany. She was married to Mr. Flegenheim. Antoinette was a first-class passenger on the Titanic. She was rescued in Lifeboat 7. In 1912, she remarried Mr. Hurst. Antoinette passed away in 1943 at the age of 79. She was buried in Germany under the last name of Hurst. The next survivor is Margaret Fleming, born 1870, in Pennsylvania. She was the personal maid for John Thayer. Margaret was rescued in Lifeboat 4. She passed away in 1941 at the age of 71 in a hospital. Margaret was buried in Pennsylvania. The next survivor is John Irwin Flynn, born 1875, in Canada. He survived the sinking in Lifeboat 5. John passed away in 1951 at the age of 76. He was buried in New York. The next survivor is John Foley, born 1865, in Ireland. He was a deck storekeeper on the Titanic. John survived the sinking in Lifeboat 4. He passed away in 1934 at the age of 69. John was buried in England. The next survivor is Wilfred Cyril Foley, born 1890, in Wales. There is no information available on this individual. I am leaving this lily for you, you are not forgotten. The following information was obtained and used from the Encyclopedia Titanic website. Wilfred was a steward, third class, and his monthly income was £3 or $14.60. He was rescued in Lifeboat 13. It was suggested that he was among the lost, possibly confusing him for William Foley. Wilfred resettled in Britain and never married. It is not clear if he ever returned to sea working again. In 1914, he signed up for service with the Royal West Kent Regiment. Wilfrid never saw battlefields, and was discharged from service in 1915 due to medical issues associated with pulmonary tuberculosis. His health worsened, and Wilfrid passed away in 1916 at the age of 25. Wilfrid was buried in England, in an unmarked grave. The next survivor is Chung Fu, born 1880, in Hong Kong. He boarded the Titanic as a third-class passenger. Chang was rescued in Lifeboat 13. He was 32 years of age at the time of the sinking. Chang's occupation was listed as a seaman. His date of death and burial details are unknown. The next survivor is the Fortune family. Mother, Mary MacDonald Fortune. Daughter, Ethel Flora Fortune Gordon. Daughter, Alice Elizabeth Fortune. Daughter, Mabel Helen Fortune Driscoll. Mary MacDonald Fortune, born 1851, in Canada. She was married to Mr. Fortune. Mary boarded the Titanic with her 3 daughters, her son, and husband. They were all first-class passengers. Mary and her daughters were all rescued in Lifeboat 10. Her husband and son perished in the sinking. Mary passed away in 1929 at the age of 77. She was buried in Canada. Ethel Flora Fortune Gordon, born 1883, in Canada. Ethel passed away in 1961 at the age of 77. She was buried in Canada. Alice Elizabeth Fortune, born 1887, in Canada. She married Mr. Allen. Alice passed away 17 days after her older sister, Ethel. She was age of 73. She was buried in Canada. Mabel Helen Fortune Driscoll, born 1888, in Canada. She married Mr. Driscoll in 1913. Mabel's occupation was listed as a housewife. Mabel passed away in 1968 at the age of 79 due to heart failure. She was buried in Canada. The next survivor is James Forward, born 1884, in England. He was an able seaman on the Titanic. James was rescued in Lifeboat 15. In 1940, while serving aboard the SS Aruna, under mysterious circumstances, James went missing from the ship, 22 miles from the coast of Australia. He passed away in 1940, at the age of 55. James had fallen overboard and was lost at sea. The next survivor is Laura Mabel Francatelli Hearing, born 1880, in England. She was the secretary to Lady Duff Gordon. Laura survived the sinking in Lifeboat 1. Pictured here is her life vest she wore on that fateful night. It was sold at Sotheby's. In 1913, she married Mr. Hearing, and the couple would have no children. Laura passed away in 1967 at the age of 87 due to a stroke. She was cremated, and her ashes were returned to New York and placed in the crypt with her husband. The next survivor is the Frauenthal family. Husband, Dr. Henry William Frauenthal. Wife, Clara Hainsheimer Frauenthal. Brother of Dr. Henry, Isaac Gerald Frauenthal. Dr. Henry William Frauenthal, born 1863, in Pennsylvania. He boarded the Titanic along with his wife and brother. Henry and Clara were on their honeymoon, having only been married 20 days. This was his first marriage, and Clara's second. They all survived the sinking in Lifeboat 5. Like other male survivors, he suffered from accusations of cowardice. Henry jumped from the 7th floor of the hospital he founded. He passed away in 1927 at the age of 63 due to a skull fracture. Henry was cremated and his ashes were scattered from the roof of the hospital, located in New York. Clara Hainsheimer Frauenthal, born 1869, in Ohio. She suffered from mental illness. Clara passed away in 1943, at the age of 73, due to a heart attack. She was cremated, and laid to rest in Fresh Pond, located in New York. Isaac Gerald Frauenthal, born 1868, in Pennsylvania. He studied at the Law School of New York University. Isaac was a much milder-mannered man than his brother. Being a very unassuming man, he was a successful and respected lawyer. Isaac never married. He passed away in 1932, at the age of 64, due to heart failure. Isaac was cremated, and his ashes were scattered. The next survivor is Walter Francis Fredericks, born 1891, in England. He was married and had 2 children. Walter worked on the Titanic as a trimmer. He was rescued in Lifeboat 15. Walter fought in World War I. He passed away in 1960, at the age of 69. Walter was buried in England. The next survivor is the Frolicker family. Husband, Maximilian Joseph Frolicker. Wife, Margaretha Staley Frolicker. Daughter, Hedwig Margaretha Frolicker Schwarzenbach. There is no information on this family. I am leaving this lily for you, you are not forgotten. The following information was obtained and used from the Encyclopedia Titanica website. Maximilian Joseph Frolicker, born 1851, birthplace unknown. In 1892, he became a partner of the silk factory. Maximilian boarded the Titanic along with his wife and daughter. They were traveling to the United States and Canada to visit friends. They were rescued in Lifeboat 5. Maximilian passed away in 1913, at the age of 62. He is buried in Switzerland. Margaretha Staley Frolicker, born 1864, in Switzerland. She passed away in 1955, at the age of 91. Margaretha was buried in Switzerland. Hedwig Margaretha Frolicker Schwarzenbach, born 1889, in Switzerland. She passed away in 1972, at the age of 82. Hedwig was buried in Switzerland. However, her grave was removed in 1983. The next survivor is Albert Ernest Fryer, born 1882, in England. He was married and had 1 child. Albert was a trimmer on the Titanic, and was 26 years of age. His monthly income was £5 or $24.30. Albert was rescued in Lifeboat 13. He passed away in 1944, at the age of 62, due to heart failure. Albert was buried in England. The next survivor is Lily May Peel Futrell, born 1876, in Georgia. She married Mr. Futrell, and they had 2 children. Mr. Futrell was a writer. Pictured here is Jacques and May Futrell, in a 1909 automobile. The couple had been in Europe for several weeks, while her husband wrote a number of magazine articles. On the night of the sinking, she made her way to the boat deck. May encountered a group of men, with smoke-blackened faces, standing silently, staring at her. She later commented, "They said nothing, but their eyes seemed to say, 'At least you have a chance, we have none.'" May was rescued in collapsible Lifeboat D, but her husband perished in the sinking. She distinguished herself as a writer and lecturer, relating her experiences in the tragedy. Her descriptions have been used by artists in painting and drawings of the sinking. In 1967, she passed away in a nursing home, at the age of 91, due to pneumonia. May was buried in Massachusetts. If you like this content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel at MeTime806. Thank you very much.